always well, mate.
Had a good couple of weeks.
Yeah, actually been very busy. Lots happening. Obviously, the biggest event was the T140 doubles.
Well, that was the start of them Australian titles.
Started the Australian titles.
Right there, before we go,
Yep.
what show you got on today?
You're right. Phil, I thought we'd go back to our roots.
Yep.
As you know, we both landed here and fell in love with Adelaide, but we both come from somewhere else. Now, obviously, you're a Derby County man. Well, this is my home team,
Yep.
the Waikato Chiefs.
Wow.
In the old days, we were just called Waikato.
Yep.
But today, since Super Rugby, this is the Chiefs, and we're very proud franchise, and we're actually right in the mix again this season. So just thought I'd mix it up a bit.
Just threw a curveball in today, John.
there today.
I think I don't recognise that full team.
I'm sure there's someone out there that's as glamorous as this. Some team anyway. Cheers.
That's all good, John. All right, so yeah, 2 weeks ago we had the Australian 8 ball, and we had the 9 ball, the T140 9 ball doubles on the first day.
Yes.
Some quality players, a big field.
Excellent field. I mean, we had Ben Hung. She was here playing with Tommy Shen.
Yep.
And I think they were the defending champs because there wasn't a championship last year.
Yeah.
So I reckon they were the defending champs, and they looked as polished as ever. But we had so many good combinations from here in Adelaide.
From my experience and not getting knocked out, but I lost in the round robin to Bean and Tom.
Yep.
What an amazing player Bean is. Like, we shouldn't be discriminating here because it's girls versus guys, but she is as good as...
Hey, look, not just her all-round game, her demeanour. I saw her play some of the best jump shots I've seen in the game.
Yeah.
And this is stuff that, Van Boning, Ocean, all of those people would have been proud to have executed. She did that well. So, yeah, very impressive young lady. And had to draw her out a little bit because I don't know her that well.
Yeah.
But I had a couple of little chats with her, and she's a lovely girl, and Tom's a character. Yeah, he's got lots of personality, Tom.
But I think maybe in that doubles, John, was the start of something big happening, because in that first round you had the superstars of Mikey and James, odds-on favourite to win the event. And
I think so, yeah.
They drew Jaden, D'Amica and Daniel. And to be honest, I thought James and Mikey would get over them quite easy. And when I seen they were 5-1 up, I thought that still may be the case. But all of a sudden there was a rise of the juniors. And
well, both those, yeah. I mean, Daniel's been playing with Mikey and with James on a regular basis now, and Mikey's been his hero and still is. So it's not. He's raised his game to a level now where he's there with them. He's not just another young kid that's got some promise. He's proven that he can make the final of the biggest event in Australia, the biggest Scotch doubles event in Australia, in that code anyway, and held his head up.
Yeah, well, to beat James and Mikey was a fantastic victory, and then obviously puts James and Mikey in the losers section of the bracket, of which all of a sudden they made everyone else pay.
Well, yeah, once they got upset, they started to fire, and they just looked better and better. And their combination's it's so smooth. It's almost like one guy playing all the shots.
Right,
Just the same sort of. They don't need to talk. Very, very rarely do they have to discuss where they need to go, because they understand each other's game. And they go, oh, well, I'll just go over there, and the other player walks around with that spot.
Yeah.
They hit the ball, okay, then I'll hit the ball, and then go back over to your shot, Phil. That sort of scenario. Really good to watch, and they did well. And to take it out, they were really excited. Yeah, it's a big deal. They both won individual titles separately, obviously, in different events, but to do it together, because they are great mates, and they've got great respect for each other. So it's good to see them, and then we've got the two young guys right behind them. Yeah. And I'll tell you what, they're going to be around for a while.
Well, even you talk to Daniel, but Jaden also made an impact on that event. Making the final of the doubles, he made the quarterfinals of the singles, where he lost to Alex, and he, in my mind, he's predominantly a two-shot pool player. So obviously, maybe his involvement in the Vegas League and
I think well, he wants to mix. He's certainly a two-shot player. That predominantly that's the sport he grew up with. His dad's obviously a very good two-shot player. and he does dabble with the snooker now. We have had good discussions, a number of us, about the length of his cueing action. Apparently he's going to address that, because he is very, very pronounced, which does lead to a lot of decel sometimes when you come back that far. But yeah, in general, he manages it very well. But I think if we can shorten that up a bit, and I think watching Justin is a classic example. Justin wouldn't have a backswing in more than 4 inches. That's
right. Yeah,
that'd be maximum.
It's very compact.
And then just very compact, and then all the power going forward, everything going forward. As someone once told me, you don't generate any power going backwards. It doesn't matter how fast you pull the cue back, it doesn't make it go faster going back. It's how you deliver it, the pace going forward. So, Jaden, I think, might just make some incremental changes that will help him. Now, singles.
Yeah. Well, there was first of all, like having Justin there, just ran third in the US Open, 8-ball. Australia's #1 player.
Yep.
So him arriving to play there just added a little bit more to the event. And not to say it wasn't already a super strong field with top players coming from interstate. He just made it a real genuine event to win.
Well, we all know how good our players are, and because there hasn't been a lot of interstate competition going on, we don't know how much they've improved. Yeah, we knew that they were good a couple of years ago, but it's like all of us, until you test it, you really don't know.
Yeah.
So having 64 starters in that, and they come from all over the country: Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria. We had a lot of intrastate guys here. Ian didn't come down. Ian's been very keen playing every event he can. So it was a really good roll up, and probably the strongest field they've had in a while. And for Daniel to run through them. Now, I'm going to bring this up. Sorry about it. Daniel Porter, eventual singles champion, 8-ball, American pool champion.
Yep.
Opening round.
2 times Australian.
2 times Australian champ. My co-host here. Second round.
World 8.
World 8-ball finalist. Actually champion. Won that Masters champion.
Yep. John
and
Lehman.
JL. Jimmy Georgiadis.
Say no more.
Won everything we can think of in 9-ball and 8-ball. His hero, Mikey Cacciola. And that was Hill, which made it even harder, because the Hill ones, those are the ones where having too much respect for your opponent can actually impact on you. And there's no question Daniel has that for Mikey. But he showed his...
What about at Hill? How's the Audi at Hill?
Well, like, he just decided, I'm going to finish this here and now. And that was fantastic. So
it was a fantastic last ball he knocked in. That was a fantastic shot. And then even when he potted the black off of Mikey's ball, he didn't even hesitate. He knew what he was doing.
The plan was in place already. He knew how he was going to navigate that, because the black was ordinary. But he saw it early. I go around here, then I just play that off there, and that goes off that ball. So I shake hands.
It was definitely, and John, as you said, that was just to get to the final.
I know.
Normally, winning the final, you're playing a Mikey or a James in a final, but let alone it's a hard slog when you're playing them in the quarterfinals and semi-finals. And
you get past them and get to the favourite. And there's no question, Justin's a favourite.
Yeah.
All these other guys they're very classy, but he's got the credentials. He's got the runs on the board. Not just here, but all over the world.
Yeah.
Now, Justin's an absolute class player, highly recognised globally. And then for Daniel to get over him as well, I think that was 11-9.
11-9. Well, first before that, in the semi-finals in the other half, I think Alex making the semi-finals was a fantastic effort as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
Showing his credentials, and Justin had a solid win over Alex, and I think Justin would have been very happy that he was playing Daniel in the final and not Mikey. Getting the young player, no experience, never won an event before.
Never won anything of significance, no.
Yet when you watch that final, you would have thought that Daniel was, not that Justin played fantastic.
Played well.
I think that final, John, was as good as any final I've seen when I'm watching the world's best players. And so for Daniel to hold himself together, especially he had a big lead and then Justin started pegging him back. But he played superb in winning it. So Daniel,
all credit to him, and look out for any future tournaments, because he's very versatile. His two-shot game is strong. I would have said his two-shot game's better, but I think we can't say that now, can we? Yeah, well, he's got to be Australasian champion before he can actually start saying he can do that.
But on that tournament, Alex, the tables were fantastic. He'd done more. It was fantastic. I haven't played for a while, as you know, John, and it was so nice to get on them tables. Set it up well. The APA had done all the events through the Cuesport, and you put your results in on the phone, and that all went smooth, and It was a fantastic tournament to play in. So
no, it was all well done by all concerned. Ash obviously does a great job running the bar down there, keeping everyone happy and making sure everyone's got a drink, a timely drink, which we all need at time. It's very important. Not just getting one, when you get it.
And when you're talking about Daniel winning and beating Justin, even on the weekend, the Pro Pool Series over in Melbourne, where Justin just won the second event there. He beat Michael Skiri in the final. So that event is purely the top 8 players in Australia, and Justin's winning that event. So it just shows you how strong Daniel did.
And just how versatile Justin is. And I think Robert won the first one, I believe.
Mark Robertson got the first one.
He won the first one. So it's good that sort of that two tournaments on the weekend for real pool enthusiasts. I'm sure a lot of people were camped on their phones over the weekend. I got sort of ins and outs, but I had a lot on my plate myself. And then obviously we had our Masters. So the Masters was over 2 days, and the qualifying we had 44 players.
Yeah, he had a very excellent
Very good field, yeah. 4 groups of 11, top 4 qualified from each group. All the qualifiers were strong, and I came through very confident. Then obviously you didn't see my name in the end of the post on the weekend there, Phil, on Sunday night, because I don't know, I had a blank, and there were a few blanks, but all credit to the guys that made it. We have one of the comeback kings, a guy called Darren Montreberg.
Yeah, Darren, yeah.
Darren I've known for a long time, and he's been out of the game for at least 20 years. But his children are grown up now, and he's got time to actually dedicate to the game. Came back and topped the field. Equal top with Stacey, but was seeded one by virtue of the fact that he actually beat Stacey in their particular clash. So
that's credit to him.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I mean that's just. It didn't just fall over the line. I beat the best player that the current Masters champ, I believe he is too. So we got Darren Munchberg, Stacey Vine, Roland Green, Calvin Lee. Hasn't played competition all year, and decided, I'm going to come back. I've got a bit of a break. I was working in the country. I think I might come and play Masters. So he does very well. Plays great. Number 5 was John Lehman.
Yep.
And then the 6th player was a 3-way playoff between Jason Ahmed, Paul Edwards, and Andy Ripley.
Yeah.
And Jason won that. The other 2 will become reserves, and there's some chance they'll get a run as well, because I'm confident that 2 of the guys can't go.
Okay.
They've saved holidays for next year.
It's a fantastic team, isn't it, though, John?
Oh, either way.
But the crazy thing was, John, I noticed there's a couple of names missing, including yourself, was Alex Everonitis. And when I seen the team, I thought 2 things have happened. Alex is automatically in because he's the current champion, or he's not playing in the event. He's maybe playing in the Open. And when I found out he played in the event, like for them guys to finish on top of Alex, it's a fantastic effort. And I was quite shocked when I seen that Alex played in the event.
Yeah, well, obviously he had a very big weekend with Brenton. Obviously his son's 40th on the weekend. Had a lot of prep time for the tournament. There's so much going on the last couple of weeks. I don't think he's had a lot of his practices. He's a very focused sort of guy. If I'm going to play 2-shot, I'm going to play this. If I'm going to play American pool, I'm going to do that. If I play 9-ball, I'm going to just do that. and he doesn't seem to be able to split it up. I watched him, and I've known him longer than anyone here. I mean, he was still what we used to call a rabbit or a bunny when I met him.
I never remember Alex being a rabbit.
14 years old, can't pot a ball over the hole. But I saw him miss balls that he wouldn't have missed in at least 35 years. Just, you could go back through his whole career and you'd never see him miss these balls. His head just wasn't in the game.
Tell you what, you're allowed to have one bad tournament every 30 years, aren't you?
Yeah, we'd probably let him off. And I think at the end of the day, he's going to bounce back and he'll make the open side easy.
Yeah.
This is just a bit of a knockaround, really. Yeah. I'll play with those old blokes. I'm still good enough to match it with the young fellas, and he is. So yes, that's not a concern. He'll make the state side, no mistake.
Yeah. Well, good luck to the senior team, and it's an awesome side, and I can't see any side in Australia challenging that team, John. So.
Hey, they're good team. If that full lineup goes, I would back them. I'm concerned that there are a couple that have big holidays coming up next year, and I doubt that they're going to take another 2 weeks off to go to the Nationals.
Okay. Oh well, still a good effort from them 6 guys.
Oh yeah, fantastic. And whoever goes is going to represent us proudly anyway.
Well, John, I got some information from Dominic at
Caruso's.
He was telling me about the Salisbury competition that they run there on a Tuesday and Wednesday night. And they've got their final series happening at the moment. I know on the Tuesday night they've got the playoff for the grand final, which is between Prime 8 and Hit and Hope.
Yep.
And the elimination final is the Caruso Numpties and the Instigators. Okay. Dominic, I think I need to have a chat to you about your team names, but anyway, we'll leave it at that. But I noticed some pretty tough players have got in these divisions down at Salisbury, John. You know, the likes of Shane Crisp, Stacey Vine, Mark Stone, Jaden D'Amica, Daniel Porter, 2 of the guys we've just been chatting about, Kim Saunders, Phil Mizik. So
hey, look, lots of good players still going around there.
Out north, it's very strong, the April side of things. And John, that was just the Tuesday night. And then on the Wednesday night, they've got Caruso's Crusaders versus KOs. And in the elimination, they've got Hot Shots versus the Good Guys. And even on the Wednesday night, I see like the names like Michael Hayes and Brian Perriton and Dominic himself and Gavin Lomax in there.
Well, Gavin is a superstar, no matter what Cuesport he wants to play.
Kim Saunders. So I don't know what they're doing down there at Salisbury, but they're obviously doing something very well. That they've got these quality players.
They've attracted a good field, and obviously Salisbury comp's been a strong comp for a long time.
Yeah.
Salisbury and Elizabeth have always had excellent teams because I suppose because of the English background of that territory, a lot of migrant families lived there, and they brought their sport, which was snooker and pool. And that's why a lot of the kids played snooker and pool. Like through the 60s, there a lot of the guys that came over, through the what we know as in Australia is the Eddie Charlton era, but the Ray Reardon, all of that. I mean, we even had the player, what's his name? The crazy Irishman,
Alex
Hurricane Higgins. He came through that. I mean, you're probably a bit younger than me, but I remember sitting up watching Pot Black at home in New Zealand, and that was the highlight of our week. And that was the only time I think ever that snooker became a global sport. Because it's always been very much something that played in the UK and in the former the British sort of settlement areas like New Zealand, Australia, Canada, Malaysia, South Africa, those areas, India of course, but the game was always condensed in England. And that's where all the top players went. If you wanted to be recognised, you had to go and play there. And nothing's changed actually, that's still happening. Although they do carry the game around the world now. But that was a fantastic era. And just so good to see that we still have so many options, no matter what your preference is, whether you want to be a snooker player, 9-ball player, 8-ball player, carom billiard player, whatever it is, there's plenty to do, and the sport's alive and quite vibrant, I think.
Well, good luck to all the teams in the Salisbury 8-ball. I'll have more information next week, because we'll have the champions by then. So hopefully, but yeah, good luck to all the teams there.
Yeah. Not a whole lot I've got to offer at the moment. My site's coming along. Most of you would have seen my posts on Facebook about TMC, or That's My Cue. We'll have more to offer in our next podcast. I've got my personal tournament on the Australian Classic, which is a Masters or over 50s event coming up in 16 days now.
Ooh.
So that's I'm looking forward to that. We've got 44. Like, you've got full squad actually. I've got 11 locked, and then I've got all these fringe players. Oh, I want to play. I want to play. I want to play. So eventually we'll make up a composite side to make up our full complement of 12 teams.
What are the dates there, John?
17th, 18th, 19th of June. 17th we'll commence our singles. The event is effectively a teams event, but we've incorporated a singles event to keep the guys interested in something else to keep playing for. So the singles will run through to the semi-finals on the Friday, starting at 4 o'clock on Friday the 17th. Then the teams events, we'll split them into two groups.
Yeah.
Two six-team groups with the top two qualifying for semis, and then we'll play all those off on the Sunday with the final of the singles and semi and the final of the singles on the Sunday the 18th as well. So 19th rather. So yeah, good weekend, good catch up with a lot of the old boys. As you know, the 84 First Nationals, I was fortunate enough to be a part of that, and the reason I started this tournament is that I'm never going back to the Nationals again. I'm too old and not good enough. So I asked people to come and play in my tournament, and it's been really well supported.
Yeah.
I've got two great teams from Victoria, two excellent teams from Tasmania. The Western Australians been promising, but they're so scared to get out of their state now that they might never get home. So yeah, their premier's not keen on anyone sort of travelling too far afield. He likes to keep them all at home. But that's another story. But yeah, looking forward to that too.
Well, let's just before we go, John. This coming weekend we've got the South Australian State Ladies Snooker Championships on. It's still time to get an entry in. They close this Thursday. It will be held on this Saturday, starting at 10 a.m. It will be a round robin, a semi-final, and then we have the final the following Wednesday night. So there is a couple of spots still available. So if any the ladies out there, and it doesn't matter if you're not a snooker player, we're happy to introduce snooker to the lady 8-ball players as well. Please contact me at Snooker SA, and you've got till Thursday to let me know, and hopefully get in and come play in the state ladies this Saturday. That's all for me, John.
Yeah,
pleasure
always
to see
good
you.
to catch up, mate. Thank
And
you.
as I said, anybody
Please coffee, everyone. It's still early enough to get another one in.
any information on any events that are coming up or you played in, please get in touch with me, and we're happy to let you know about it. All right, thank you.
Cheers.
See you, John.